Let's go. We got a softball game today.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Softball and sun.
Yep.
Winner of this one would move on to face the top seed Tennessee tomorrow morning. And Elizabeth Hightower, the senior, will get the call today. Her 28th start. She's 15-12 on the season. She's had her hands full with Kowalik over the years. These two pretty much have grown up together throughout their SEC careers. Kayla hitting .429 off of Hightower.
Well, and really the key for Hightower is to vary her speed. She's going to throw between 55 and 65 miles an hour. She'll throw that rise ball, screwball on different planes, but she is at her best when she has 3 distinct speeds, so she needs to vary that velocity as well as really work the edges.
Ground ball back up the middle, just out of the reach of a diving Skylar Wallace at short, and Kowalik is aboard. Oh, the Vols are here to scout.
Nice job. You can see why the numbers are so good, too, with Kowalik against Hightower right there. It's a half swing. Just put the ball in play. That's what she does so well, placing it up the middle for a hit.
Well, as good as Kowalik has been against Hightower, a different story, Smitty, for Erin Koffel.
Yeah, just 1 for 14. Hitting a .125. And I think a lot of that is because she gets underneath the hands, you know, and when you don't miss on the edges and you really work that inner half, and that's why you can see Koffel is off the plate a little bit more than normal.
Yep.
Ball.
And one of the things, too, Smitty, I don't see enough is pitchers being able to get inside to batters, whether they're left-handed, right-handed, and that's where Hightower is so good against the righties.
There you see the numbers for Koffel. Best on base in Division I this year. Fouls that one out into the bullpen. This is one of the top 1-2 tandems at the top of a lineup that you will see in the country, with Kowalik and Koffel together. Numbers 2 and 3 behind Skylar Wallace in batting average this year in the league. And off she goes, and Kayla Kowalik will steal second with ease.
#15th stolen base of the year.
These two teams very familiar with one another. They just played the final series of the regular season last weekend. Kentucky took 2 of 3 as Koffel pops it up, unable to move the runner. 1 down. That'll bring up Taylor Ebbs, the sophomore from Oregon. She had the game-winning sacrifice fly in the season finale for the Cats. First pitch swinging and another pop-up. 2 down.
Wow, 2 pitches, 2 pop-ups. And that's when Hightower's at her best, you know, getting those miss hits.
Here comes the number 4 hitter, Kennedy Sullivan. Kennedy's the DP today. Grad student who transferred in from Western Kentucky. Also has done some pitching for them, so if need be, they can play with their lineup quite a bit with her in the DP role. They also have Alexia Lakatena that they can bring in out of the bullpen. It's been pitched by committee as Stephanie Schoonover, who will get the start today, missed half a month with an injury and worked her way back into form, still battling through that. Here's the 1-1 from Hightower.
Good ball.
Both these teams, by the way, secure in their NCAA tournament selections. As it stands right now, both would probably be on the road for the regionals.
Ball.
Florida still has an outside shot at hosting if they make a deep run here this weekend. If not, it will be the first time on the road for a regional since Tim Walton took over 18 years ago. That's how good they have been
amazing.
under Walton's direction. There's a look at Tim. Twice a national champion. A top 5 seed for 13 straight years before last season, when they were a 14 seed in the NCAA tournament and still made it to the World Series. The only SEC rep a year ago. So there's a lot for the conference to prove this postseason, I think.
Yeah, I think absolutely. You know, you look at what happened last year, and I think there was a lot of expectation for quite a few teams from the SEC to be there. Florida ends up punching their ticket. So I think the question is the response of the conference this year.
Sullivan in play, off the glove of Eccles to Wallace, who is still able to make the play. Kowalik, a base hit, stranded. So you could say that Tim Walton is putting all his eggs into a big basket right at the top of the order, with a lot of speed and power from those 3 in particular. And then Reagan Walsh, the 300 hitter as well, in the 4 spot. Here is Wallace. A lot of folks say she is the favorite to win SEC Player of the Year honors. Likely a finalist for National Player of the Year honors. She's on the final 10 list, which eventually gets pared down to 3, and then the winner. Probably her or Kiki Malloy, I'd say, at Tennessee. Player of the Year?
Yeah, Wallace's numbers in conference are better than Malloy's. But overall, both very similar.
Yeah, you could go Kiki best player on the best team this year. That's always a good choice. One of 2 D1 players with 15+ home runs, 30+ stolen bases. Oh, look who the other one is, Kiki.
It's like they're listening to us.
Well, they could go head-to-head tomorrow. The winner of this one will see the Vols, the 1 seed. There's a look at the starter today, Stephanie Schoonover, the junior from Vicksburg.
Schoonover missed 15 games earlier this year. She's definitely the ace of this staff, and when she's in the circle, Kentucky's a completely different team. It is interesting, though, that Tim Walton stacked his lineup with lefties. Lefties are hitting 204 off of Schoonover's. Righties just a $140.
Gets away from Kowalik, and Wallace over to second. Well, with her speed, a walk can be as good as a double or even a triple.
Yeah. Oh, and she said it when we spoke to her before the tournament. She was like, you know what, I'll take the walk. She was like, that's like a double. It's like me hitting a double.
Well, the confidence, that's the thing.
It was awesome.
She understands her speed. She knows what she brings.
Score this a pass ball.
You can see Falvey almost puts the bat in the eyes of Kowalik. Pitch was supposed to be outside. It bleeds back into the zone. Looks like she didn't have it. It's a very catchable ball.
Ball.
A rarity for Kowalik, one of the top pitchers in the country, and a quick conference for the Cats. As Kowalik goes out to talk to Schoonover, who has been dealing with a forearm issue, guys, that forced her to miss 15 games.
Well, and part of that is because she is a heavy rise ball pitcher. She does throw with good velocity in the upper 60s, but that rise ball has a tendency to stress that arm a little bit. She can command both sides of the plate, and it's really what makes her effective is that movement through the zone. She has so much movement. She is not afraid to make that ball dance through the strike zone, and when she can do that effectively, that's when she's at her best.
Falvey's a .426 hitter on the season. Risp. She can bunt, she can slap. Haliro.
And guys, you might notice that Schoonover is wearing a pretty heavy compression sleeve on that forearm. We talked to Coach Rachel Lawson, and while they want to keep the details of the injury private, she did mention that it's swelling that happens throughout the course of the game. So they want to try to get as many innings from her, as many pitches as they can before that swelling starts. You can see that heavy compression sleeve to try to control some of that.
Chop to third. Wallace will try and take the base after the out, and she does so. So Falvey able to move her over, and immediately an opportunity for an RBI for Charlotte Eccles, as Tim Walton's ability to work that top of the order a little bit could pay off immediately.
Watch her leaning the whole time, too. I mean, she's giving this away. Watch, she'll get the lead off, and she's leaning on that front foot, saying, just go ahead and throw it. I mean, Grace Lorsong had even thought about a fake throw. They would have had her hung out to dry. Skylar Wallace, a very aggressive base runner. It pays off there.
Missed opportunity there for Kentucky to get the lead runner. So now Eccles. Really nice bounce back season for Charla, the grad student. All her numbers up this year. She's hitting the ball harder, more line drives, more home runs. She was a first-team All-American 2 seasons ago. And this should be plenty deep for Wallace, out to center. Skylar heads for home. The throw will not beat her there, and it's 1-0 Gators. And that, folks, is how you generate a run. Walk, pass ball, productive out, and a sac fly.
I think that's one of the biggest keys, too, for Wallace. We showed in the Open her power. And so a lot of times you want to pitch around those kind of hitters, and you see when you do, what happens. She steals second base, takes third, easily scores on not a deep fly ball to the outfield.
2 down for Reagan Walsh.
Ball. Okay.
When we talked to Tim Walton this week, you know, the pitching staff, which has been so good over the years, they've got to come through in the postseason. Otherwise, as Tim said, we got to score. And we're not really comfortable under 8 runs scored. You know, he knows they got to put up big numbers.
I love how honest he is.
He speaks the truth.
Yeah.
And he tells his team that, too.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we got to score a lot of runs. Our pitchers aren't cutting it.
Well, yeah, the team ERA of a 3.6. Kentucky actually even higher at a 4.36.
Yeah.
So these are the worst 2 ERAs in the SEC.
Yeah, Kentucky knows they need to play some good defense. And as you pointed out, Jess, they really had a chance to pick off Wallace, and they threw to first base instead.
Especially at this point in the season, because you just have that instinct usually where you can tell a runner's leaning, little things like that you pick up on.
Reagan was 2 for 10 in the Kentucky series last weekend. Launches that towards the foul pole and on the wrong side. Seven home runs on the season for the sophomore out of Southern California. And for Kentucky and Florida, the bottom 2 in the SEC in that ERA category. And for Kentucky in particular, mucho home run balls. Is that one? No, it'll stay in the yard. Side retired, but a run up for the Gators and a 1-0 lead in our 8-9 matchup.
Run in my last senior day appearance on that field with my dad there. It meant the world.
Yeah, the finale for the grad student out of New Braunfels, Texas, who Rachel Lawson calls the Rock of Kentucky softball. An outstanding career. She led the league in hits this season. Tried to get something going in that first inning with another hit. It's the 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup for the Cats here to face Elizabeth Hightower. Grace Lorsong, a junior from Indiana. Grace had a game-winning home run against Florida in Game 2 of their series.
What's interesting about this lineup construction, too, is they've got a lot of their power at the top. Their speed is actually at the bottom. And in the middle is where, if they win games, this is the part of the lineup that has to be able to contribute.
Ball.
She did not go. 2-2. Don Brown is behind the plate today. Tom Meyer at first. Marty Abazishan at third. In our first game today, on deck, the 3-seed Auburn and the 11-seed Ole Miss. That's in the top half of the bracket. Auburn, the 3-seed, Georgia, the 2-seed up top. That game will be the first of the quarterfinal round after we got pushed back a game by the weather yesterday.
Ball.
This tournament over the years, now in its 26th season has been so much fun for the fans, maybe not so much for the coaches. A lot of gray hairs with all the upsets over the years, all the surprises. The top seed in the SEC tournament has won this thing less than 50% of the time. In fact, 7 different champs over the last 11 years, including the aforementioned Auburn and Ole Miss coming up next. Lorsung lashes one through the left side at a base hit to start out the second.
It's interesting too, because we're seeing the adjustments being made by these righties. They're trying to make adjustments for that rise ball. It's going to come into the hand, Smitty. You were talking about this. Watch Grace Lorsung. Watch her front foot. It's going to stay open. So she actually starts open and doesn't get closed. And what that does is it clears her hips. This ball isn't hit hard, but it gets her barrel enough there to be able to get a base hit and get a base runner for Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's really the key with Hightower. I mean, she's going to work that screwball, rise ball in the inner half, and you've got to be able to hit that through the 5-6 hole. You can't play pickle with Eccles and Wallace on that left side.
Riley Smith is the pinch runner at first. Lorsung can re-enter. Here's Jenna Blanton, the center fielder. Tying run now on the plate for the Cats. Blanton trying to drop it down to move her over. This is a rematch of a game from last year in the SEC when Florida knocked the Cats out in the quarterfinals. And for Kentucky, seeking their first SEC tournament crown. One of 4 teams that has yet to win it all.
I feel like the tournament every year is like a free-for-all. It really is. Consistency of the everyday conference over the 2 months, and then you get here and it's like, whew.
Last year it was Shanice Dels at Arkansas who had the hot hand, the MVP, guiding the Razorbacks to their first SEC title after they won the regular season as well. They play Alabama tonight. Kentucky has been to the finals once. So has Mississippi State, of the original group of softball teams before Missouri and Texas A&M arrived. Missouri has been to the finals twice, including last year. A&M has struggled in the postseason. Blanton right back to Hightower, scoops over to first, and that'll move the runner over with the sacrifice. I would go chocolate peanut butter banana, I think, on a day like today.
Man, that sounds
We've got
good.
a blender.
Slow roar to the right side. We did get the Crucomatic 3000. We have the coming on to pinch hit in the 8th spot for Vanessa Nesby. One lefty for another.
Yeah, that's interesting. Nesby's hitting 377.
I think it's Nesby's more put the ball in play, use her legs. Mitchell's going to be able to find grass, or that's the goal.
Got to get the timely hit with 2 outs to tie this one up. Plenty of decisions have been made by head coach Rachel Lawson, now in her 16th season at Kentucky. She is the winningest coach in Lexington. 13 trips to the NCAA tournament. They'll be back again this year. Out to center field, Katie Kistler, who gets the start today, makes the catch to the Women's College World Series with our selection show, followed by our 7 innings after party to break down the bracket for you in the field of 64, led by the likely top seed and 2-time defending national champion Oklahoma Sooners as they try and go for an historic three-peat. A lot of questions about who might be the top 8 seeds, who might be the top 16 seeds that would get to stay home for that first weekend as Pal Egan flies out 1 down. We love to talk about the host bubble around here, and there you go. Florida and Auburn I think they still got a chance.
Yeah.
With Baylor and Oregon, remember, you want to be in the top 16 RPI, strength of schedule, and what you do against the best teams out there, all pieces of information that the selection committee will use to determine who might get that 15 or 16 seed. Now, some teams out there might not want the 15 or 16 seed, because that would mean a trip probably to UCLA or Oklahoma.
Yeah. Would you rather go on the road for regionals? And
Tim Walton's team won on the road in the Supers last year, stunning Virginia Tech.
There were upsets in both the regionals and super regionals. And that's one of the things that the SEC really prepares you for. You go on the road throughout the conference and you play tough series. So if you can win on the road in the SEC, you can win a regional on the road.
You're actually welcoming the fact that you're playing someone that isn't in the SEC. You're like, I don't care where we go, just please get me out of the South.
Absolutely.
Of that group, Florida had by far the best strength of schedule, and they had the most wins against top 25 foes. One thing that could be interesting, if you talk head-to-head, whether it's Florida or Auburn won the season series over the Gators. So head-to-head is also another piece of criteria, which usually only comes into play if you're talking about two teams in particular for a spot. The DP, Pollard, 2-2. We'll be talking a lot about the numbers throughout the course of the weekend. Of course, the RPI would be your win percentage, your opponent's win percentage, and then your opponent's win percentage. So the math doesn't lie there, but we're not sure if it's the best characterization of where teams should be seeded this year. Tennessee, for example, without playing yesterday, actually fell a spot in the RPI. LSU lost yesterday and did not fall.
Well, it's the difference like we're seeing with all analytics.
Yeah.
You need a balance of the eye test and the numbers.
Well, especially this year, the eye test is, I think, most important.
Opposite way for Pollard, and back near the track goes Nesby, 2 down. That'll bring up Avery Gels. Avery, the former Prep Florida Player of the Year, has a sister on the roster as well. 277 on the season. Goes the opposite way as well, and right there is Nesby. A 1-2-3 inning for Stephanie Schoonover.
If you ask Margaret Tobias of Kentucky softball who the most famous person in her phone is, she'll tell you it's her former high school basketball teammate, Caitlin Clark. So we got a little shout out from the star.
My girl Margaret, what's up? You're the GOAT, one of my favorite teammates of all time. I remember our basketball days like it was yesterday. I just want to say good luck in the SEC tournament. I'm rooting for all of you. I'll be cheering for you guys, so go do the thing.
So Margaret likes to joke that she and Caitlin once combined for 62 points in a basketball game. But if you look into the stat sheet, Caitlin had 60 of those points. Margaret contributed 2. But they were good teammates. It's a school pretty close to Des Moines, Iowa. And of course, you all know what Caitlin Clark did in the NCAA tournament this season. She is back for Iowa women's basketball. And what a team. That must have been a pretty fun team to watch in high school. Really cool for Margaret Tobias, who's up to bat right now.
I'm sure Margaret's 2 points were probably critical to their success for the Maroons in that ball game.
And
then she hit first pitch swinging to get out. We can't even talk about her anymore. She'll be back. She'll be back. Great to hear from Caitlin Clark, and always fun to You know, when you stumble across somebody who has another famous athlete from one of their teams.
Well, and multi-sport athletes, that's what I love too, is when you have the crossover and playing as many sports as possible.
Ball.
How it helps your overall athleticism.
Yeah, so-
Basketball was my favorite sport.
Me too.
Oh, me too.
What?
Oh, look at the three of us. And here we are
In a
around
moment.
softball. Yeah.
But it helped me. It actually is what allowed me to find my legs in the batter's box. That explosive, going up for rebounds. Different sports, different training.
What else did you play?
I played soccer, volleyball, track. Kind of
Awesome.
big snowboarder. That was-
Soccer to get in shape in the fall. Basketball to get a scholarship. Softball because we had really good pitchers and we won.
There you go.
And we had fun.
There you go.
We should play basketball sometime.
Kowalik lines out to left. I was the only one good enough to play in college. One down.
Oh, look,
two down.
Jabs
Two down.
already.
Two down.
Can't even
I
keep
played
track.
field hockey.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's a sport where you can legally hit someone with a stick.
I was going to say your shins were probably
Okay, so
bruised
this is where
off.
she comes across nice. Sneaky mean, this one, right?
Yes. Sneaky mean.
that was a tough sport, I'll tell you.
You fired the first shot technically yesterday, just
Yes.
for the record,
Okay.
Mendoza.
Don't-
Koffel rips one down the line. That could be extras with her speed. Makes a wide turn and will halt. Good job by Falby, speaking of speed, to get there quickly and get the ball back in. And a two-out base runner. Second inning in a row that Kentucky has the tying run aboard.
How about the adjustment, too? First at bat to second at bat. She got jammed her last at bat and ended up flying out weakly. She understands. It's no secret where they're coming. They're coming in on your hands. Great job from Erin Koffel getting the barrel out, getting on base.
I think she was getting sick of being beat on that in her half.
When you know it's coming, too, that's the thing.
Ball.
Ball one to Taylor Ebbs, who popped up to the catcher, Sarah Longley, back in the first.
Ball.
Kentucky with a hit in each inning so far, but they do not then follow it up with a hit with a runner on base. And another pop-up behind the dish. That's two for Ebbs. And the side is retired. Another stranded 1-0. Gators. Straight upsets. And then we had some weather issues, so we're a game behind. This is the 8-9 matchup. And then coming up next, the start of the quarterfinals with the 3-seed Auburn, the 11-seed Ole Miss. The home team, Arkansas, the defending champs, they are the 4-seed this year, slated to play Alabama in the nightcap. At some point after dinner is what we're all pulling for, as we've actually got a break in the clouds for the first time since we've been here.
Blue shades on.
Yes.
Blue sky.
Feels like softball weather.
Yeah.
Bottom three, Florida up a run. Here's Katie Kistler, followed by Sarah Longley, and then back to the top. And another look at Skylar Wallace.
Ball.
Skylar scored the only run so far today on the sacrifice fly of Charlotte Eccles. There it is, blue sky. Document that. We don't know when we'll see it again. There is supposed to be some lingering clouds and showers throughout the day. And Kistler draws a leadoff walk. Second time that's happened for the Gators today. Oh. Harrison made the effort. And a couple on board for Wallace.
And she had it too. I mean, this was a good read. I like the effort because look, it's in her glove. I mean, 9 out of 10 times I think she makes that play. Takes away the opportunity to sacrifice. Of course, now runners at first and second, nobody out.
And here comes Wallace as we look at Embrace the If, brought to you by Regions. And she's for the second year in a row on a record chase in the Gator history books.
Ball. That's out.
She might get some pitches to look at here as you check out what she's doing this season. She is on pace to break the batting average record, well in front slugging and on base, and 4 away from the home run single season record at Florida.
Ball.
She's slugging over 1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's like an OPS, which is on base plus slugging. You might see over 1,000, and that's great.
Yeah.
Her slug alone.
And it's her power to all fields. Of her 18 home runs, she's got 6 to every field, left, center, right. And so there's really no holes in her swing.
Always been a good hitter for average, Jess, but the decision was made in the offseason. In the words of Tim Walton, she wanted to do more damage, and she has done just that.
Well, and to be able to make that transition, and the biggest thing was understanding where to make contact with the ball. Her goal was not to hit the middle of the ball anymore, but to actually get underneath it.
Here's her fields of power, and pretty much everywhere.
And spreading it across the field, but it's not an easy thing to do. Is Tim Walton is really good at this, is getting you to understand where to make contact with the ball, but to hit underneath it goes against everything you were taught.
Ball.
You know, softball players, especially at a younger age, it's all about hitting the ball on the ground, putting the ball in play, even hitting the middle of the ball line drive. But for Skylar Wallace, she's like, I had to kind of rethink how I approached and what pitches I could get underneath.
Yeah, and she talks about hitting the lower half of the ball to reverse that spin and elevate it, lift it as it flies out.
Ball.
And she doesn't get one to look at there. Draws the walk. Bases are loaded with nobody out for Kendra for her first time up. Has moved up into the 2 spot in the order today. She is 6 for 10 on the season with the bases loaded. Schoonover gets the swing and miss. That's her first one of the day.
Yeah, normally Schoonover is going to chase you up in the zone, but Florida's been very disciplined. They have not bit at that rise ball.
They're now 1 and 2.
And if they have attacked it, they've done that. They've fouled it off.
So you've got Katie Kistler at third, Sarah Longley at second, Skylar Wallace at first with a couple of walks and a single, setting it all up for Kendra Falby.
You could tell too, Kendra Falby's really splitting the plate in half against Schoonover. She's looking middle away. That's why you've seen her go after each one of those pitches.
And another swing and a miss for a big strikeout, 1 down.
And the location of that pitch was just outstanding. A 1-2 count, and she's going to throw a rise ball up at the eyes, and the key is underneath the hands. The location on the inner half on this, Jess, is outstanding.
Especially after everything away, away, away. Come middle in.
So here's Charlotte Eccles, who had the sacrifice fly to put a run up in the first.
Ball.
Schoonover, who got a start last weekend against the Gators, a no decision. She lasted 4 innings, and then they went to the bullpen. She did have 6 walks in that game, 3 more today.
See Schoonover kind of shaking her arm and her hand now. we've seen just early in this game, and that's been the issue, is when she starts to lose a little bit of that control, it's being able to grip the ball. Bigger misses.
And it's that right forearm that forced her to miss 15 games during the season. Eccles is 5 for 13 this year with the bases loaded. No salamis.
And that was the pitch, too. I mean, you think 1-0 count, 1-1 count, you're looking for a specific area. You could tell Eccles was looking for that spot, and she missed the pitch that she got. When you're looking and the pitcher gives you what you're looking for, you got to take advantage.
Popped it up. 2 down. Schoonover back-to-back big gets.
Huge gets. I mean, to get Eccles to pop up like this, and you know, Schoonover's in a little bit of trouble. Typically, she's got a 3-to-1 ratio of strikeouts to balls. In this game, it's the opposite: 3 base on balls to just the 1 strikeout. But finding a way to get a couple of outs here with the bases loaded.
Reagan Walsh, fly ball to left. And after Florida loads them up, they will leave them that way. Schoonover working out of the...
Hey, Wallace coming easy to score.
Kentucky defense missed a chance there to pick Wallace off and get her in a pickle between second and third. She ends up coming in to score the lone run of the day.
Yeah, and it's always a productive out, right? So for Florida, you count that as a productive out by Falby because they didn't go after Wallace. And you know, defensively, as a pitcher, you know, when your defense goes after that lead runner, it makes your job so much easier, to keep your opponents from scoring. Got to be able to do that. Got to be comfortable making, you know, the really big throws and running rundowns properly. Everybody getting in position.
There's Kennedy Sullivan to lead things off in the top of the fourth. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Cats. Single elimination tournament. This is our 8-9 matchup. The winner gets Tennessee, the overall #1 seed. They won the regular season for the first time since 2007. And the Vols will seek a 3rd tournament title this weekend. There's Riley Trilicek, who is loosening up in the Florida bullpen. The lefty senior from Texas. Been used a lot as a reliever this year. One of the newer developments we're seeing in recent seasons, a lot more starting pitchers who don't go the distance and a lot more use of relievers and in some cases even closers.
Well, the analytics will tell you that 3rd time through the lineup, the batting averages spike. More pitches these hitters see off of off the pitchers. It's just easier for the hitters to go get them.
Sullivan yanks another one foul.
This is the difference. This is where Hightower just lives. Hit all the foul balls you want. Get me to 2 strikes. But then she usually tries to get the chase out of the zone. For Kentucky right now, if they want to get on the board, they've got to figure out a way to stay inside that ball, not just pull it foul. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch, little knuckleballer right back to the pitcher. 1 down. Well, back to Tim Walton. You know, it's sort of been an embrace for him and the players. It's not your usual Florida season. And so, okay, what do we need to do and adjust to figure out ways to win ball games? I mean, it's the first time in his tenure that they did not have a winning record in the SEC. They were supposed to, according to the preseason prognosticators, win the conference.
Yeah.
And they finish in the middle of the pack. And unless they win 2 or 3 games here and get into the finals, they're probably not going to be a host for the regional. Still some work to do here, which would be the first time that they have had to hit the road in the postseason under Walton.
Yeah.
But he says, hey, all we got to do is get hot like we did last year. After they lost the first game to Virginia Tech up in Blacksburg in the Supers, they put a hurting on the home team. and got back to the World Series. You know, it's that hot pitcher, that hot bat. All you need is 2 weekends.
Yeah.
3 wins in a regional, 2 in a super, and you're back.
Well, with a team like Florida, you know, they can put up bunches of runs, you know, and they can create defensive havoc with the speed that they have. The question is, can their pitching staff limit the free passes and keep the ball in the park?
You've got to have some base runners on to give Wallace a chance to drive him in, and then when she gets on, you got to have somebody to protect her. She tries to pick it up off the hop. And a base runner here for Kentucky for the 3rd inning in a row. Check that, 4th inning in a row. They have the tying run aboard.
Kentucky's been getting them on. They just had a hard time once they get them into scoring position.
Yeah, they're 0 for with a runner on, and obviously 0 for with a runner in scoring position. Let's head up to KJ. Karen Johns, our crack statistician. I believe is at 0-7 now. They ruled that a hit, by the way. It looked like
It's an error.
the shortstop had a clear shot to scoop that
I know
one.
she had to go laterally, but
Yeah.
I mean, I always say, you ask her, you go to Skylar, what do you think? She'd be like, I can make this play all day. I mean, she had to go to her right. This is an error. It just pops out of her glove. It's not a hard play.
Yeah, I think especially because it's a right-handed hitter. And if it's a lefty, maybe she beats it out since it's in the 5-6 hole, but this is a play she makes.
She'll get another chance here. They'll get the lead runner 1 down as Sullivan is out at 2nd. Here's Miko Harrison.
Yes, she did.
Harrison jacks one. Back it goes and way out. 2-run home run for Miko Harrison. Her first of the season has the Cats on top.
Coming out of your shoes. The SEC tournament, Miko Harrison, known a lot. She'll hit some gap shots, but really just putting the ball in play, her speed, and here she gets a pitch down in the zone, drops the barrel. Her first home run of the season, and it's a huge one to take the lead for the Cats.
Yeah, that is a big hit, especially when the pitch prior, she was so fooled on. I'm surprised they came back to that location.
Boy, and Hightower had done a good job of staying out of trouble.
Yep.
Through the first 3 innings, no free passes. Her first home run since May of last year against Mississippi State with Blanton aboard, and it's 2-1. Vanessa Nesby, her first at-bat after she was pinch hit for her back in the 2nd. Opposite way for Nesby and a base hit. Their 3rd of the inning.
For Hightower, that's kind of been the issue this year, is that, you know, the walks, right? The production on the strikeout side has been down, so more balls in play. So it's a little harder on the defense, and that was the 20th home run of the year that Hightower's given up.
Which is interesting because it was a pitch down. I mean, like the bulk of her home runs are elevated pitches, which she goes to a lot.
Well, and again, it's a situation where there really should not have been a runner on
Correct.
base. It should have already been 3 outs. Even though they didn't give Wallace an error at short, she did get a glove on it.
Yep.
And that kept the inning alive.
Well, and you pitch prior, you've got her completely fooled on a changeup, right? So you see that she's way off and way in front. So you've got to be careful when you come to that low inside corner because she's almost guessing, right? Because her barrel's there.
That's a lefty wheelhouse.
Yeah.
All lefty batters, just the way that their swings, most of them, that's low inside pitch.
Correct.
Is where
Lefties hit the low inside pitch better.
Ball.
Righties hit the high pitch better. And so if you're going to attack on that inside, you come up at their eyes.
I just love it for Miko Harrison.
Yeah.
What a moment, right?
Yeah, and a big one. I mean, go ahead home run.
Kentucky's RPI is 25. Tobias pops it up, and Charlotte Eccles has it. But some damage.
Hard your pitcher's working for you, and Schoonover just fresh off of injury, and she's battling in there to get those 3 outs with the bases loaded. So you get back in the dugout, and you're like, we got you. You're battling, you're working your tail off to get those outs. We need to get you some runs. That's when you talk about momentum and just feeding, not just off of at bat to at bat, but also off your pitcher.
Oh, and now she's back out there to try and protect the lead.
Ball.
Hal Egan to lead things off, 5, 6, and 7.
Ball. Give it up.
This is big. 3-0 count, comes back with a strike here after your team puts 2 runs up on the board. You want to hammer that first batter who comes up. Yeah, I think this is part of the arm injury, the location. Oh, that was a gift right there.
Ball 4.
Ball 4.
Our 8-9 matchup, the winner into the quarterfinals against top-seeded Tennessee. The Vols, in back-to-back weekends in April, swept both Kentucky and Florida, and woo, they put up some big numbers. Infield pop-up. Koffel will take charge. So instead of the walk, it's out number 1. They had double-digit runs twice against Kentucky and twice against Florida in their regular season matchups. That game's scheduled for tomorrow morning. Quarterfinal round starts next with Auburn and Ole Miss, followed by Georgia and South Carolina. Nightcap, Arkansas and Alabama.
Georgia, South Carolina. That should be interesting. So it can be Donnie Gobourne against those powerful dog bats.
Donnie had a nice night yesterday.
Yeah. Coming back after that 4-hour rain delay.
Georgia with that Oppo G power. That would be Oppo SEC, I think, here.
Yes, it would be.
Where those SEC tournament logos are in left center and right center. Some of the favorite hot spots for the likes of Jada Kearney and Sarah Mosley and such. For the Dogs.
It's cute.
I love the grass berms, families and run around.
Yeah.
They might get a home run ball or 2 from them Dogs later.
It's hard to keep them in the seats, so they can just roll down the hill, catch some balls. That's where it's at.
You've had a wipeout or 2 on those cardboard boxes at the Little League World Series, haven't you? Doza in the mud?
I think that's the whole point. Why go down and not wipe out?
Yeah.
Especially when it's muddy.
Kayla Pollard here. 1-2 count.
Ball.
After some bullpen activity earlier, all's quiet for Kentucky after Schoonover was able to work out of that jam. Eight of the 10 outs so far have been fly balls. Gotten a little air under them.
Well, and they're chasing it too. I mean, that's the biggest difference. Even Pal Egan's at bat. Ball 4 came twice, and it was up in the zone, and they want to swing at that pitch. You're usually going to hit it in the air, miss it.
Florida's done a good job of not swinging through Schoonover's pitches. Schoonover typically will average about a strikeout and a half an inning or so, but definitely not near that today.
Pollard sends one the opposite way. Back that goes off the top of the wall and out. Her third of the season. And Kayla Pollard has tied it up for Florida.
What I love about this swing is with 2 strikes, you saw Kayla Pollard kind of shorten up, which is interesting because she hits it out, but instead of getting the bigger swing on the pitches up in the zone, she meets this pitch low and away, and you see she just gets to it. She's not trying to crank it. She's actually not trying to hit it out, and once you meet it, it might have barely just got out, hitting the top of the wall to sneak over.
I mean, that's a big number compared to even your own offense, right? Your own offense has hit 37 home runs, 38 today.
And by far the most in the SEC this year.
Coming back and getting Pal Egan to pop up. That was huge. She was down 3-0. If she would have walked her, that'd have been a 2-run shot.
And that will drop foul down the right field line. Now you got a couple folks up. Trilachek has been joined by Lexi Delbray. And the pop off the bat of Kayla Pollard. Avery Gell's a fly ball to left, her first time up, down 0-2. Two.
Free strikes.
Fly ball out to center. Blanton drifts over. 2 down. Here's a look at Rachel Lawson, who is also the pitch caller. We'll have her sidle up to Holly Rowe. Next half inning.
What she's looking for in Schoonover, because Schoonover's last start, it was in the 4th inning where she started to struggle more, and it was the command. Not so much in this case, but obviously giving up the home run. So what she's going to be looking for from a star pitcher, especially coming off of injury.
I think the question is that even if Schoonover, she's not 100%, she's not like she was before the injury, is that still better than what they have in the bullpen?
Yeah.
And at this point, I think that is yes. That was just her 7th home run of the year that she's given up. So the staff has given up, obviously, far more of those 59 home runs as a squad, as a pitching staff that they've given up.
She knows she can go to the bullpen with Alexia Lacatena, who shut out Florida in a start last weekend when they picked up their first series win against the Gators since 2011. Katie Kistler slashes that out to left. Go ahead is aboard for Florida as Sarah Longley, the number 9 hitter, steps in with 2 down. There's a look at Alexia, the sophomore star out of Stanhope, New Jersey, who played for the Italian Olympic team a couple summers ago in Japan. Big time recruit who had her best outing on Sunday against Florida. Longley singled her first time up. She and Kistler, the bottom two, have been on board all 3 times they've come to the plate today.
Ball.
Starting to see adjustments too. Second time through the order. Saw it with the base hit from Kistler. She was able to actually, first time we've seen someone meet the rise ball, almost stay on top of it. And now in this at bat with Longley, she's stayed off the rise ball.
You definitely want to get her out, so Wallace leads off the next inning instead of coming up with 2 on base. Then you've got options. You can choose to just put her aboard if you want. She's already walked twice this morning. What time of day is it? Just past noon local.
That's a nice pitch. Attacking up inside corner, down and in.
Swing and a miss, and that
Your fingers swell. You can't feel the ball. It's hard to spin the ball.
And we've got a new pitcher for Florida. Riley Trilicek comes in to start out the 5th. And she'll face the 2 most dangerous hitters in the lineup. Back to the top here, Kayla Kowalik, then Erin Koffel.
We're talking about Skylar Wallace and the adjustments that she's made this season to kind of getting underneath that backspin on the ball. And Kayla Kowalik, it's almost the opposite. A lot of her swings are actually more down angle. Gets a ton of hits through the infield.
Number 1, in fact, in the SEC in hits this year.
Yeah.
With 75. Playing in her 250th game here today. Hot shot right to Eccles. And almost right into her glove, 1 down.
Now batting number 21, Erin Koffel.
So for Erin Koffel, she has tied the school record now with the single back in the 3rd, reaching base safely in 39 straight games, a record set by Kayla Kowalik a couple years ago.
Her numbers are just gaudy. 17 home runs, a .430+ batting average.
Her on base too. I mean, that's to me, it's that slug with the on base, because it's that understanding. We talked about on the flip side with Wallace, but she has a great eye.
62 walks on the year. Yeah. 62. Oh my goodness.
Some of those are intentional, but a lot of them aren't.
Yeah.
Her numbers are pretty near Wallace's, by the way.
Yeah.
It just hasn't maybe gotten as much attention, but I mean, she's top 5 in the SEC batting average, slug, home runs, on base, RBIs. Her OPS is 3rd best in the country.
The biggest difference between them is just, she's a righty and Wallace has just more speed from the left side.
Koffel flares 1 out to right. 2 down. Well done by Trilicek to take care of the best 2 hitters in the batting order.
Now batting number 3, Taylor Ebbs.
And as we get deeper into the day, that means they may only be up and around 1 more time. Here's Taylor Ebbs. 2 pop-ups to the catcher in foul territory, Sarah Longley.
It's a lot of pressure too when you think about Kowalik and Koffel, and I mean they're so much of their offensive production. At the bottom of the lineup, I mentioned it earlier, they get on base, they have high averages, and then the top of the lineup is where a lot of the run production happens, the RBIs. And you can see the look on their face. It was a shot in the dugout, Koffel coming back in, Kowalik kind of patting her on the back, but they know if we don't get it done, a lot of times we don't win.
This is familiar territory for Trilicek. This is her 25th appearance in relief this year. As she tries for the 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. Top of the order was Skylar Wallace leading off the bottom half for Florida. And an immediate opportunity to take back the lead. They were up 1-0 in the first. Then a 2-run home run for Miko Harrison in the 4th. Got the Cats on top. And a solo shot for Pollard last inning to tie it up. And we will check out the sweet swing of Skylar Wallace when we come back to the SEC tournament. Skylar, who's walked twice and scored once.
Ball.
18 home runs, 54 runs batted in, 30 stolen bases. She is number 2 in the country in OPS. And we have the top 3 hitters in the league toe-to-toe here in our 8-9 matchup.
I love it. I love it when it's a head-to-head. We've got all 3 right there. We get to be able to see them. Of course, Wallace, we haven't seen a whole lot of them pitching to her.
I'm just surprised she didn't go after that last pitch.
There's the 3rd member of the trio, Koffel.
Just get Kiki Malloy to sneak in. Just do like a little drive-by.
Well, hey, the winner gets Malloy next.
That's right.
There we go.
So we might be lucky enough to get to see that, weather permitting, tomorrow morning. That is scheduled to be the first game of the day, the winner of this one against the top seed. Wallace lifts that one back. It goes towards the wall and out. Skylar Wallace with a home run to give Florida the lead. Got on top of the rise and sent it.
I mean, this is the difference. I mean, you think about where she makes contact and how she gets underneath. I mean, this is basically a pop fly, but she has so much power. She is able to get underneath this ball. Look at the location. So it's in on the hands, but again, her goal this season is not to hit the middle, not to hit the top, but actually to get that backspin. And look where she's able to make contact. Again, off the bat, looks like a fly ball, but with the power, she hits it out.
And she smoked it.
Yeah. She's been so good this year at hitting to all fields. We showed that spray chart earlier. Equal distribution left, center, right.
And that will be all for the starter, Stephanie Schoonover. Pitching change coming up for Kentucky. The new pitcher, Alexia Lacatena, to face Kendra Falby. And she will beat it out for an infield hit. But for more on Skylar, here's Holly.
Skylar Wallace, just one of the best all-around athletes, but mostly she is so competitive. We asked her, where does that come from? And she said, honestly, it comes from my brother. When we were little kids, we would get after it. We would tussle, body slam. We would come in crying, telling our mom and dad who was better. I was constantly trying to show my mom I was better. She said, I would do all the boy stuff and more, and she really credits him. They are best friends now, and her brother Cullen is actually 19 and came to watch her last week at Kentucky for the first time this season. She said, we talk every single day. He's my best friend, but he's also the piece that drove her to be great because she just always had to be better than he was.
Good use of tussle.
Nothing like a
Sibling rivalry.
good brother to toughen you up. Falby's going to head for third. The throw on its way there, and Kendra will beat it. Third hit of the inning in a row here for the top of the order, and after the home run, they've got runners on the corners.
Eccles so good at just turning on the ball, aggressive early in the count. Sees this pitch immediately. It's a curveball coming in, and she just does a great job. And this is where Florida is so good, is they take that extra 60 feet. They read that immediately. One of the best teams in the country at picking up the additional 60 feet. No hesitation. Kendra Falby hopping over that ball and then knowing that Coach Walton is going to want to make her way over to third and Wallace Loving.
5 of the last 8 to the plate have gotten a hit, including 2 home run balls for Florida. Against 2 different pitchers.
This is what Tim Walton talked about. We have to be aggressive offensively. He knows they're going to give up some runs. They haven't been strong defensively this year. High octane offense.
Fly ball in foul territory, and the catch is made by Nesby. Falby to the plate, and she's in. So after La Catena threw 7 innings of shutout ball at Florida last weekend, they immediately greet her with a run as she comes in. And on the throw, Eccles gets over to second.
I don't know, that's a tough decision. Do you make that catch in foul territory?
No.
No, because I think it's too far. If it's closer in, I think you make that catch.
Especially with Falby, right? You got to know who's there.
Exactly. There's no way that you're going to get Falby on that.
Second sacrifice fly of the day for Florida. As Reagan Walsh drives one in, here's Pal Egan. A couple of flyouts for her. Three times to the plate for Skylar Wallace, and she started the rally in 2 of those innings. The walk came in to score in the first, and now the home run to trigger the 5th. Started out her career at Alabama, and when she first transferred to Florida, she had to sit out a year. And that is ripped out to center, knocked down by Blanton, but it scoots under her glove, and here comes Eccles. 3rd run of the inning for the Gators. RBI single, Pal Egan.
Getting that look at the high octane offense that Florida can put on pretty quick, but look at Pal Egan and her coming across the plate. She almost comes out of the batter's box, coming across with that cross stride to be able to reach the pitches middle away. I like the effort from Blanton, but you got to make sure it stays in front of you. It ended up costing Kentucky another run.
6 hits in that last trip through the lineup for Florida. And here comes Kayla Pollard, who hit the home run in the last inning. Gators have turned it up.
They do a good job at just passing the bat to each other. And again, it's that speed. So many different weapons.
Florida Gators seeking a 6th SEC tournament title. They're tied with LSU 5 apiece. Alabama has won the most at 6. Tim Walton and Pat Murphy, 5 championships each. That's the most for head coaches in this 26th season now of the SEC championships. Our hosts here at Arkansas are the defending champs after they won it last year for the first time ever.
It'll be interesting too, because Alabama's the only team that's ever won it at home, and they've done it twice.
Yeah. Arkansas took 2 of 3 from the Tide in Tuscaloosa earlier this year. That is the scheduled nightcap tonight. And it's ball for the Pollard. Holly?
Well, Florida is opening up a healthy lead right now, but Tim Walton told us a really interesting stat the other day that lets me know he is not comfortable right now. He said, we have had the craziest season where we have to score 8 runs to win. He's like, we have lost so many close 7-6, 7-5, you know, so many close games. If we don't score 8, we don't win. So sitting at 5 right now, they still have work to do, according to Tim Walton.
Well, no better example of that than that wild series in the regular season with Tennessee when the team scored a combined 47 runs.
Yeah.
And the Gators blew a big lead, one of the turning points for the Tennessee season. Yeah, that is a potential matchup right now in the quarters tomorrow morning.
Well, knowing they need to put those runs up, a lot of it comes down to not just the pitching. We talked about the ERAs of both these clubs slightly elevated, but it's also been the lack of walks, the lack of strikeouts for Florida, which results in more balls in play, more pressure on the defense. And so, you know, they've really focused on the fact that they have to capitalize on every inning, every opportunity with this offense.
Avery Gels. 0 for 2, couple of fly balls.
So this third time through the lineup, I mean, they have just, you know, they're facing a different pitcher. Yeah, exactly.
It starts with your leader. Wallace set the tone this inning.
Gels with Ebbs on the move makes the catch. Runners will hold. 2 down. And Katie Kistler will be the 8th to the plate this inning. Got Auburn and Ole Miss coming up on deck. Auburn Tigers the 3 seed, Ole Miss the 11 seed. They already have a game in hand. They upset LSU yesterday in extra innings on a Paige Smith 2-run home run.
Good to see the sun out.
Are we charting our home runs? Yeah.
What are we doing?
I said, are we charting our home runs here? That number of ball flying out of the field.
I like to try to tell you what a home run
you
is.
like to keep a count, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll get on that.
We will.
It's still early.
Yes.
We'll see if they pick it up throughout the day.
Only game 4.
That's a big game for Auburn, by the way. They are in a fight. They are on the host bubble right now with a 21 RPI. They need a win, and they may need a couple wins here to try and lock that down. They have 6 top 25 wins on the resume. There could be some big names missing out. Michigan lost yesterday. Arizona helped their cause by beating Arizona State, but the Sun Devils are out with a sub-500 record. Notre Dame lost yesterday. Those events are good news probably for Mississippi State trying to get in as the 13th team from the SEC.
Yeah, it would. I mean, if Arizona doesn't make the tournament, Michigan, that's just. And you think about Oregon State, Arizona, both clubs that were at the Women's College.
Series.
Yeah, and
Arizona is 35 years in a row. Michigan is 28 years in a row. Nice snag. It's short by Koffel, but damage done. 3 on the board twice, and that home run in the 5th triggered a 3-run inning for Florida to recapture the lead. 4, 5, and 6 here for Kentucky in the top of the 6th. Kennedy Sullivan 0 for 2. Under the roof here, the press box. Bogle Park. Ooh, the anticipation building for the hosts to arrive coming up later tonight. They are the number 4 seed in this year's tournament. Went 3-0 last year to win it all. They only allowed the 1 run in 3 games, led by Shanice Dels. She's back. but pretty much the rest of the lineup has graduated and moved on. So a terrific job by Courtney Deifel and company to find their way back into a double bye and grab a 4th place finish this year in the conference.
Great group of freshmen. Rylan Hedgecock, how about that? I mean,
Feels like a freshman because she wasn't playing early in her career. Now
Power surge.
Yeah. Well, just a great example of an athlete waiting her turn, right? She had Danielle Gibson and Minnie Laukin, and I mean, just so many of the different athletes in front of her.
true team player.
Yeah.
Ball. And the walk here for Sullivan. Arkansas graduated their career leader in batting average, home runs, runs batted in, hits, and that's not even including the SEC Player of the Year.
Right,
So,
right.
and a 20-game winner in the circle.
Yeah.
So
it was an adjustment for them offensively
Yes.
this year. They got to figure out their identity.
Well, and Courtney Deifel said it best early in the year. They were ranked very high, and she's like, you know, we probably were overranked. You know, we probably weren't a top 10 team, but they figured it out. So now they're starting to work their way back into that position. All those freshmen gaining more and more experience.
Yep. Pinch runner here is Chelsea Mack over at first. Here's Grace Lorsom, who has singled twice. Both of those coming off the starter, Elizabeth Hightower. This is the second inning of work for Riley Trilichik, who set the Cats down 1-2-3 in the 5th.
Okay. Holly, can you do some special investigation right now?
If they're making a lunch run, make sure we get our orders in.
Exactly.
Lorson, opposite way. Pal Egan's got it, 1 down.
Now batting number 10, Jenna Andrews.
Let's send it down to Holly, who's got word on the cash.
Well, you know, I'm always about researching the money for you guys.
Follow the money.
It is not real money. They do keep the stacks down here, and you get rewarded if you do something good in the game. I don't know if it's like an IOU, so for later when it's legal, you could get the money, but I'm kidding. But no, it's just kind of a fun little thing like, hey, let's reward you. I would take mine in candy over cash, but theirs is fun too.
She's got to have a big bank account.
Got to have the biggest stack,
Exactly.
Skylar.
She's got a backpack full of
Exactly. She's got
Benjis.
one of those trucks that carries all the cash.
Blanton. And now Kentucky with a threat. And they will bring the tying run to the plate.
And it looks like maybe she left early. Umpires got
Oh, they're
his hand
calling her out.
So Florida gets to choose best outcome, so they're gonna.
Boy, that is a miscue
Yep.
for a pinch runner in that situation. Wow.
Oh yeah, she's way early.
And it was a hit.
Tom Meyer is right there looking at it. You can see she is like a good 2 steps out. Her hand goes out, and so basically it's a delayed dead ball. In case, let's say, she hits into a double play, Florida could take that. So Florida's obviously going to choose the leaving early, which is then going to bring the base hit back.
Oh, Jenna
That is
Blanton.
huge.
Yeah.
Wallace knocks it down, spins and fires to first, but Blanton is aboard.
Well, she gets her hit.
Yeah.
She's like, do I get 2 for that?
Exactly, 2 for 1.
Unfortunately for Kentucky, though, they have the extra out and not a base runner in scoring position. And it's the home run hitter coming up. One swing could have tied it for Kentucky.
Run.
Miko, the 2-run shot in the 4th that scored her and Bland.
Ball.
1 and 2.
Trellichak doing a good job on that curveball. She likes to bend it away and down. Moves it on multiple planes.
Ball.
Seen a lot of behind in counts though this game from both teams. More balls than strikes. And we talked about it's the 2 lowest ERAs in the conference, and I think that's a big reason why. Not a lot of 0-2.
Harrison out towards Kendra Falby. She's got it. Side retired. It stays 5-2 Gators. Wallace, who is coming back around for the Florida Gators. She's on deck. Sam Rowe is the pinch hitter here in the 9 spot as we move to the bottom of the 6th at a 5-2 Florida lead. They are 3 outs away from advancing to the quarterfinals and a date with the top seed Tennessee. All-America candidate Skylar Wallace has been on base 3 times today, a couple of walks, the home run. She has scored twice.
A foul ball.
And that was a foul tip. They're going to bring her back, I think. Oh, did he say it hit her on the hand? Off the knob, says the home plate umpire. Wait, now he's saying off the forearm. And the challenge for Rachel Lawson.
Florida would like to replay. The call on the field was off the knob foul ball.
Yeah, so Florida is the one challenging. It was ruled off the knob.
That's right. Sometimes I wish you could just ask the batter, okay, what happened? We're going to find out here in a second.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hit her forearm.
That's forearm.
Yeah, it's past the knob, obviously, so it didn't hit the knob.
But I could see from behind home plate how it looks like it.
Yes.
You got the center field look that shows it, but you hear something being hit and you see that the knob's really, you know, I love the example too that Skylar Wallace set in this game, her first at bat, because you walk her, she gets to second, she scores anyway. It's basically like a home run in a lot of ways because of the way she ran the bases. And then she gets the home run later when they try to pitch to her. Yeah. So it's and I think that's
she obviously likes the song too, yeah.
She's really stressed right now.
Feeling the pressure of the postseason.
And that's everything to me, is when you are enjoying the game, the moment, like you play well, you really do. And what you see right now from Wallace, not only the confidence, but just that she's having fun right now. I mean, who wouldn't? You hit a home run, like all of the stats, of course, but such a great message for all girls who play, women who play. It's just, remember why you play.
Yeah, it's a game. I always like to say the umpire doesn't say work ball, he says play ball. So, you know, or he or she umpires, yeah.
Still awaiting the announcement as to the player of the year, the pitcher of the year in the SEC. Everybody else has been putting out their awards already. Val Cagle, the player of the year in the ACC. Jada Coleman in the Big 12. Maya Brady in the Pac-12. And Taryn Kern, the freshman, is also the player of the year in the Big 10 with some huge pop in her bat. It's a dance party.
There's a lot of parties going on here.
Missouri, I thought, was the only one that,
Yeah.
the club, but everyone's got their own club going on.
There's a lot of clubs showing up here.
They do have all the money.
So wait, is Florida at the door charging for Kentucky to get into their club? Like, they got all the money over there.
Benji's.
And right now the party's going on over there. And they're on the phone right now.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. Foul ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wow. I do not see that hit the knob of the bat.
He's like, check her arm. Because
Did it just graze the knob? Is that what they're saying, I guess?
I'm thinking they just didn't have enough to overturn it, maybe. They couldn't, because I don't see it hit the knob at all. It's all good.
All right, so Rose back at the plate, 2-2 count. Rowe pops it up, right side on the grass. Tobias. 1 down, and here comes Skylar Wallace again.
Well, Skylar Wallace with all that power. 19th home run of the year. 2-1 pitch that she sends out of the yard, just turns on the inside corner. Oh, Benjamins.
She got a lot of Benjamins on that one.
She got paid.
Hey!
Skylar Wallace gets another home run, too. She'll be only 1 of 2 to have 20 home runs, 30-plus stolen bases. Kiki Malloy, the other one.
In the country.
In the country, yeah, not just conference.
And that will spin down the line and stay fair, and Wallace is aboard for the 4th time.
So fast. It's just so fun. I mean, a total miss it. You see the big grin on her face because, let's be real, as hard as you can hit the ball on her home run, and definitely like as soft as you could possibly hit it, not on purpose either, still a hit.
She can hit it 250 or she can hit it 2.
Either way. And I'll tell you,
both work.
if you're Alexia LaCantana too, you're like, I'll take that.
You're like, oh, come on. I had her fooled on that one.
Well, when we asked Skylar Wallace what she's the most proud of this season for Florida softball, she said, my mentality. It translates to everything I do, whether it's fielding, running, or hitting. We just saw it on the running there. And she said, I just say to myself over and over, I can't be beat. And so far, she hasn't been.
Falby, that's going to be trouble, and they got her. 2 down, Wallace to second.
It's a great play by Aaron Koffel. And that's where Florida creates all that havoc. I mean, think about the speed of Wallace and Falby. I mean, the 2 of them could flat out fly.
Which is part of Walton's plan, putting her there.
Yeah.
Wallace is actually stealing on the pitch, too. Perfect job by Koffel.
I love the reaction.
Hey!
Here is Charlotte Eccles. Congratulations, by the way, to Ashley Rogers of Tennessee, just recently named the Scholar Athlete of the Year in softball. She's a kinesiology major with a minor in strikeouts. And she may be facing the winner of this one tomorrow morning. They got some good arms. Karen Weekly's got some choices. Carlin Pickens, terrific freshman.
Great pitching staff.
Yeah. Peyton Gottschall, the transfer from Duke.
which is why Ashley Rogers is having the year she's having. It's not all about her. She doesn't feel that pressure.
A 4.0 for Ashley.
In kinesiology, I mean, that's, whew.
Which matches all three of ours combined.
Yeah.
Right. Got to add ours up.
They add them together, yeah.
And round up.
Always round up. Always. Well, only round down if it makes for a better story.
That's right. Yeah, I think she has a medical school potentially on the docket
On the future.
Yeah.
Nice.
Future. Yeah.
Assist to Holly Rowe, by the way. She did the research. She did the
Giving us the
legwork on
information.
that one. Yep. Got it done.
She's also pulling the weight with the GPA for us, too.
Well, you know,
She's like a 3.9, and the rest of us.
oh, a hot shot that Lakatenen knocks down, tries to scoop it to first, and another run will score as Wallace comes motoring in. Never stopped running from second. And that's her third run scored today. Second RBI of the day for Eccles.
And that ball just smashed right back at Lakatina and then tries to flip it out of the glove and it just floats through, and Eccles is going to beat that out because that ball just floats out. And then obviously Skylar Wallace continuing to run from second puts another run up on the board.
6-2 now, Gators. Here's Reagan Walsh. Koffel calls for it. Last chance for Kentucky, 8-9, and then the finals. Due up next here in Fayetteville, 3-seed Auburn, 11-seed Ole Miss to kick off our quarterfinal action. Nesby, Tobias, and Kowalik due up.
Gotta get the pup on the berm.
So cute.
Oh, service dog.
Oh, look at that.
Didn't they have little hogs here?
Yes.
That wasn't Scarborough playing with little hog the last time? Eccles, bare hands, fires to first. Got her. One down.
This is a great defensive play. Look at the way Eccles is going to approach this ball. She knows she does not have time. So look where she's at. She reads hands immediately, and here's the key. Bare hands it, picks it up. The throw is floating a little bit, but a really good job to hang on to that. Oh, and it looks like the toe stays on the bag.
No challenge. Here's Tobias. 0 for 2.
Reagan Walsh had to come over. That was a really good job by the corners, by Walsh to hang on to that.
As it stands, this would be it for Kentucky, and then they would await their fate with the selection committee, where they would likely be a 2-seed somewhere. There are going to be some fabulous 2 seeds that will hit the road to challenge home-seeded teams this year. Perhaps both of these squads. Florida still fighting to host. Oregon's on that bubble. Baylor's on that bubble.
Ball.
Tobias to Wallace, and they're down to their final out. And fittingly, it's Kowalik here with Koffel on deck. So the top 2 hitters may get one more go.
Now batting number 99, Taylor Wallach.
Ball.
Kayla singled in the first. She's 1 for 3 today. Same for Aaron Koffel on deck.
Ball. Ball.
3-0. Riley Trilicek trying to close it out after Elizabeth Hightower got the start. It was a big 3-run fifth inning that allowed Florida to regain the lead, and Kowalik down the line, scampering towards second. And let's send it down to Holly.
Well, Kayla Kowalik continues to be one of the best athletes ever at the University of Kentucky, and she is graduating. She just graduated with her graduate degree in accounting and management. She's coming back, though. I know that all of Big Blue Nation will be happy to know that she's not going anywhere. She's going to come back and be a graduate assistant next season for Rachel Lawson. She said, they can't get rid of me. She's going to be a doctor by the time she leaves Lexington, but you'll see her around still, and I know fans want to know that.
Oh, so good to see some of the stars of our game stick around and get into the coaching ranks and still be a part of passing along the knowledge to the next generation. Here's Aaron Koffel. Koffel skies that to center. This could do it. Kistler under it. Ball game. Gators. And the 8th seed advances 6-2 the final. Home run balls for Skylar Wallace and Kayla Pollard today. And they move on to face top-seeded Tennessee tomorrow morning.
Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. Whenever I look into your eyes, I find less peace and love for me. You are everything that I have ever wanted. I want to spend every second of my life with you. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are and will remain mine forever and ever. I don't know if some kind of a magical if agreeing with you. So the joy effect that I have turned us away. So did the effect on your smile on me in my life. Baby, you are